Hey YouTube, this is the Goodbye Girl VSG, also known as Keisha. I'm coming to you on week 42. I just made another video and watched it and decided I was going to change my tone a little bit. Let's see. I did have a non-scale victory this week, which means that for, 2 weeks in a row, I haven't lost any weight again. I did get down, I think, to 219 from 292. My starting weight was 292 back in August of 2016. So I'm about 8 months out, and now I'm at 221 this week. So I've actually gone up 2 pounds. But really the last 2 months, I have been at the same weight between 219 and 221, 222. So those of you who've seen many of my videos will know that I seem to stall all the time. That I feel like that's becoming my story more and more, that I stall more than I lose weight. So, you know, I'm trying to find ways to turn this around. It definitely coming to you every week, and I did promise I would start weighing myself again every week, and then I would continue to make videos. But it is really depressing to make videos every week and sound like you're just a negative Nelly and you're not losing weight. And I know that there's people out there that are like, "Girl, you got to be doing something wrong," you know. And I ask myself that all the time. You know, am I doing something wrong? But to digress a little bit, Finding Elizabeth has a show called The Naked Truth on YouTube. It's like an interviewing program that she does. It's really great if you haven't caught it. But I think a couple weeks ago she did a show with Dr. Weiner, who, though poorly named, has a wonderful book called A Pound of Cure, and he also is a weight loss surgeon. And he, in his interview, they were talking about stalling, or people that aren't able to actually lose that much weight. And he said that our brains have created a new set point for themselves after our surgery, and that if we don't lose the weight that we want to lose, or if we, you know, he said he's had patients lose like 22 pounds after surgery and that's it, and never be able to get beyond that. I'm not quite that bad. I've luckily lost about between 65 and 70 something pounds, depending on what week you ask me, but I really have been stalling since like November, off and on since November. I would say now I sort of feel like I had weight loss for the first 6 months, and ever since, you know, the last 2 or 3 months, it's been, you know, seemingly difficult for me all the way along, but especially lately I noticed that, you know, no matter what I've tried, the last couple weeks I was trying keto, watching my calories, you know, still logging my food, all that stuff. Nothing seems to really make the scale move. So what to do about that? I guess Dr. Weiner would say, I think that at some point it may just be my genetics that determined what my set point was set at in my brain, and that I may not be able to ever get a better weight than this. I'm not a year out, so I really, really hope that somehow I will be able to find a solution. And, you know, I started out wanting to be 150 pounds back to my high school and college weight, and while I knew there was a good chance I might not be able to do that, you know, I'd seen a lot of people out there lose over 100 pounds, and so I think I've said I would be really happy to be at 175, but I mean, honestly, like if I could just get down below 200, that's really what I'm shooting for right now. So to talk again about the keto plan that I was trying, watching Finding Elizabeth and many others who've been at least this game a long time, they move into keto and they seem to find some, you know, help there. For me, keto, I mean, it's great in a lot of ways. It's enjoyable, certainly for a while, but I had really had trouble getting in the amount of fat that the calculator wanted me to get, and also keeping my calories in a place where I felt like I wasn't, you know, really going overboard. You know, like when I start hitting 1,500 calories a day, that stresses me out. And it was really hard to get that much fat in while keeping my calories down. I didn't really feel, I did feel like I wasn't bloated, and that my face looked good and all that stuff when I was eating that way. I'm still trying to do sort of a more Atkins approach. Just, I'm not stressing out so much about having super high fat, but I'm just keeping it very low carb. Trying to stay under 50 grams of carbs a day. weighing and measuring my food. But anyway, long story short, I'm still in the same place I was. the last 2 months. So anyway, non-scale victory is I did have my first date that I've had in like over 10 years. So that is something that was really, really stressful for me to think about addressing dating and all that stuff. And, I won't say that it's still not something that everyone wants to find love, but it's very hard to start dating again, especially when you still have that inner fat person in your head and you're not sure if you physically measure up, when it comes down to taking your clothes off with someone and all that stuff. So it was nerve-wracking, but my date went well, and we just met for drinks, and the guy was really nice, and I'm not sure if it was a love connection or anything, but it was very respectful, and he was very gentlemanly, and we had some nice conversation, and it was a good start in that area for me. So I do feel good about that. One thing I wanted to sort of admit to is that I've talked about it's very hard to make videos for me, not physically making them, but more about, when you're fat and you feel like you're not part of the club, you're like not the pretty girl in high school, you're the fat one or the fat friend, or, you're not going to be, you feel like Cinderella, you're not invited to the ball and you've got to sneak in someone else's clothes or whatever. So, I am feeling that again, like being, at a pretty good weight loss, not a great weight loss, but being in a weight loss community with all of you and seeing so many success stories, and week after week after week after week after month, I'm stalling and not having luck. I feel like I'm not part of the club. I'm not part of the winners club of losing weight, and it makes me really sad and really depressed, and that makes me not want to make videos, because then I have to confront the fact that I'm stalling and that everyone else is continuing to melt the pounds off. So a lot of you have been really nice and reached out to me, and I know that there's people out there that struggle like I do, if not all the time, at least some of the time. But the whole purpose of coming on here is being honest about this whole journey, not just the losing, not just the surgery, but just all of it. There's a lot of emotional ups and downs. There's a lot of games that we play with ourselves. There's a lot of tweaking of what we're doing to sort of keep trying to have success or keep our attitude going. But, for me, honestly, I just don't feel somehow, I just feel like I think a lot of people have said on here, I've heard people say that everyone was so afraid they would be the one person that the surgery didn't work for. And I feel like I actually was one of the few people that the surgery, not that it didn't work, but I haven't even lost half of the weight that I need to lose to be at a healthy weight. So being at 220 is where a lot of people start their journey, and that's where I am after 8 months. So I don't know. I don't really know what to say about that. I'm just struggling with these thoughts and how to stay hopeful, how to stay positive, how to keep going. In a lot of ways, it's not like I have to keep going, because I really can't eat that much anyway. So I do notice that I have to really watch my calories, because even though I don't eat that much, sometimes the things I choose to eat have more calories, but by the end of the day than I would like. And I probably eat a little bit more than when I'm just hungry. Sometimes I just eat because I kind of feel like I'm not full. And I am trying to watch that not mindless eating, but I think when I was busier and I first had my surgery, I was legitimately not hungry. And now I'm not super hungry, but I'm not full either, and it's I could definitely eat, but I'm not empty. So trying to always determine whether it's time to eat or not is something I still struggle with. I'm doing a little better this week on the I joke about food hoarding. I wouldn't say I'm really a food hoarder, but I definitely have a lot of food in my refrigerator, oftentimes for someone who's single and lives alone. And I do have that sort of mentality when I go to the grocery store that, stocking up the food and having healthy food is my way of trying to be successful and to plan ahead and all that. But honestly, the way I live my life is I don't really want to eat what's in the refrigerator half the time. I'd rather just order out or go, out and let someone else make the salad or whatever I made for dinner. I don't really always want to eat it more than one day. So I'm really trying to just admit that, what I need to have at home is eggs, maybe some bacon or turkey sausage, some, Greek yogurt, some cheese sticks, some beef jerky, turkey slices, some, so a little bit of mayonnaise, and like, I like, the tuna in the packets. That stuff is really great. And maybe some chicken breasts or something, and some veggies, but there's a lot of other stuff that sneaks in there. So, and I actually buy a lot of vegetables, guys. Like, I buy a ton of vegetables with the best of intentions that I'm going to eat all these vegetables, and I just don't feel like cooking vegetables. I don't know why. And then when I do cook them, it seems silly to cook the amount that I actually only eat. So I make a whole bunch of them, and they never seem good the second day. They just seem kind of wilted. So I'm really trying to cut out the excuses that I make myself, and to be more realistic, and really try and do what works and just be honest about certain things. So if you hear me making excuses about things, I definitely don't mean to, but I definitely watch my own videos, and I catch myself, with my thought process. And this journey is as much about your head as it is about your stomach. So I think that, we all go through this stuff. And I'm so thankful that, again, I say this every time, but really, I'm so thankful that you guys are still out there hanging in and watching me and supporting. I did get a new Yeti. If you guys don't know what a Yeti is, Yeti makes these incredibly great coolers. They also make like a tumbler that you can take your drink in. And I got one with like a handle, and it really keeps my ice cold drinks like icy for, from morning until evening. And I would really recommend, if you guys can go on Amazon, I got some metal straws. And straws, if you don't know this, are like ecologically just the worst thing ever for the planet. So I got some metal straws that are reusable, and they make your drink so much colder, and so it's really nice. And they're not very expensive either, so check them out. And anyway, my new use for my Yeti is I've put my phone on it. And I'm using it to hold my phone so I can make my video. It's like the perfect height to sit on your desk and make a video with. So there you go. Don't say I never taught you anything. Anyway, guys, I'm going to tune out, and gonna get out there, maybe take a walk, get a little more active. So see you next week, and I really hope to have something good to report. But thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And if you want to reach me, if you want to reach out to me outside of YouTube, you can reach me at KECIAHEINZ@gmail.com. Take care, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.